Hello loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're new here, hey, my name is Charlotte and today I'm going to be doing an updated video on Tropeaka powders. Now about a year ago I did a haul showing you guys the powders that I purchased, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about taste, texture, the itty bitty details of each powder and rating them for you guys on a scale from 1 to 10. Now I have 3 things I'm rating them on: taste, texture, and also do they do what they say they do. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Depotted these powders. Basically that's like a makeup term, but we're gonna run with it. And I put them into these glass containers. The only one that I still have like the original packaging from is the lean protein, because this bag was a lot bigger than the other bags. And let's just start by grabbing one. I'm gonna grab the Tone BCAA Plus powder, which is in the passion fruit scent. And the rating I have for this is I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 when it comes to taste. This is the only powder that is getting that higher score when it comes to taste. I've given it a 8 out of 10 when it comes to texture, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 when it comes to does it do what it says it does. Basically why this powder is getting such a high rating in my opinion is because the taste of it is so good. Passion fruit is really quite strong. It just tastes quite sweet. The texture of it is very finely milled, which a lot of the powders are. The benefits I find are true for me with this powder is that it boosts my energy and it really reduces my tiredness and my fatigue, and it also is really useful for immunity kind of health, or like immune health. As for how I use these powders, I will talk about that after reviewing all of them for you guys, so stay tuned to the end to hear how I use all the powders. Okay, the next powder, maca powder. I've rated this powder an 8 when it comes to taste. Now I didn't go for the full 10 with this one, although it does taste really good because you have to get the proportions perfectly right, and with this one honestly the tip of a teaspoon is enough powder. It is so strong, but if you get it right it tastes of like honeycomb, which is lovely. I've given this a 4 when it comes to texture, just because it is quite chalky. Now if you use too much of it, again, like the taste is just too overwhelming, and also the texture of it is quite chalky in the sense of like you taste it's very powdery, which is not my favorite, to be honest. When it comes to doing what it says it does, I've given it an 8 because it does definitely help with my energy levels, and also it does give me a lot of stamina and endurance. It does say that it helps with well-being and does de-stress. I personally haven't noticed that benefit from this powder. Okay, so next let's talk about the immunity powder. The immunity powder I've given a 4 when it comes to taste. Now that's just because I personally don't really like the taste of the camu berries that is in it. The goji berries are also quite a strong flavor. I've given it a 4 because it's just not my favorite. When it comes to texture, I've given it an 8 because this powder really again is very finely milled, really nice. It doesn't taste chalky or anything. It just blends into any drink really smoothly and nicely. When it comes to doing what it says it does, I've given this powder a 9, which is really good. A lot of people have asked me if this does actually help me with like colds, and honestly yes, this powder has really helped me just prevent getting sicker or prevented me from like becoming sick at all. I've also noticed that this has helped me with healthy skin, having a healthy immune system, and just overall better health. Okay, let's talk about the coconut water powder. This is probably my most used powder, probably one of the ones that I enjoy the most, although rating wise it didn't get the best rating. I don't know why. Anyway, I've given this a 4 when it comes to taste, just because I personally am not a big fan of like coconut water. I know that's kind of like what this is, and also it is a little bit chalky, which is why that I've given it a 7 when it comes to texture. Now when it comes to doing what it says it does, I've given it a full 10 out of 10. This is probably my favorite powder because it genuinely does do what it says it does. So it does replenish you, it does hydrate you. You notice a lot of hydration straight after drinking it. This is probably the one powder where you notice benefits straight away. And I use this predominantly when like the seasons change, but also if I've had like a really salty day prior. With that I mean eating salty food, not like a nasty day. Anyway, when I've had like a lot of salty food and I just kind of feel like I'll drink this and basically I can put this in anything that I want. It's also high in magnesium, calcium, electrolytes, potassium, like all the things that you need. So yeah, I really do enjoy this powder. Probably the most asked about powder is the Alkaline Green Powder, and I get it. I think we all are a little bit standoffish when it comes to green powders because there's this stigma around them that they don't taste good, which I'm kind of confirming because I gave this a 2 out of 10 when it comes to taste. Personally, I just don't really enjoy the taste of it or even the scent of it, let's be honest. The taste of this is very, I can't really describe it. Like, it has pineapple in it, which you can definitely taste. Like, there is a little bit of like a sweetness to it, but in my opinion, it just tastes fizzy, which is really weird. So yeah, this is getting a 2 out of 10 when it comes to taste, but I did give it an 8 out of 10 when it comes to texture and an 8 out of 10 when it comes to doing what it says it does. This powder basically promises a healthy digestion and an elimination. And that is something I definitely have noticed that is a benefit of this powder. And also, of course, cleansing. It is very good for cleansing your digestive system and just like your body. The last powder that we have is the lean protein powder. Now, this one I've given a 7 out of 10 when it comes to taste. I do have the chocolate flavor and it is quite chocolatey. It could be a little bit more, but you know, it's a protein powder. It's not hot chocolate powder. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it tastes. As for texture, oh guys, this is actually the whole reason why I put the category texture into my rating. I'm giving the lean protein a 3 out of 10 when it comes to texture. This powder is so chalky and just kind of uncomfortable to drink. When it comes to doing what it says it does, I definitely agree with a lot of the things that it says. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It basically is very easy to digest, that for sure, and it does not give you any bloating, which is awesome. And then also it definitely does help you stay fuller for longer. So like 1 glass of this is definitely like a full meal. Like, it's very, very filling. And I also wanted to share with you guys just some tips and tricks on how I drink each powder. In general, when it comes to these powders, I do not mix a single one of them just with water. I don't like the taste of any of them enough to just add them to water. So some powders, for example, the BCAA Plus, I would add to juice, but predominantly I use all of them just in smoothies. The coconut water, for example, I'll use for smoothies. I'll put it with the juice, and then also in the protein shakes that I'll make with the lean protein and the maca powder. The alkaline greens I put in a smoothie with a very strong other component, so like a banana and yogurt, like strong, thicker kind of components, so you don't really taste this too much. With all of them, pretty much it's like use 2 heaped teaspoons. My opinion is always half that. If you're feeling a little bit frisky, you know, do 1.5. But in my opinion, half of the recommended amount is just as good or even better, because then it's not such an overpowering taste. The immunity powder I predominantly will use in berry smoothies. The maca powder is awesome in protein shakes. I just use like the tip of a teaspoon and that is way enough. So yeah, this maca powder, I don't think I'm ever gonna have to repurchase that because literally it will last me my entire life. And then the lean protein I'll use as a protein shake. Personally, I mix it with milk. You could also mix it with water or do half and half, whatever you feel like. I personally just like the thickness of milk with it, and it kind of feels like a chocolate drink with honeycomb because I'm using the maca powder. So there you go, those are some ideas of how to make various different drinks with these different powders. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do so. The button is down below, so go ahead and tap it and you're part of the Govalia family. Also, if you haven't yet, please ring that bell because I am uploading every 3 days. I hope you guys are staying happy, staying healthy, and staying safe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!